Yo, what's going on? The Straight Up Busters. This glorious, gracious, and great host, Triple G. We have Gem, the nerd of the group. We have SD, the puncher of the group, and we have the gamer, which is Mr. Dingle. Today we're talking about a war. What is it good for?
Absolutely nothing.
And we're just going to do a quick face reveal. My lovely friend James, say hi. He's like a part guest. He'll chime in whenever he feels the need to.
He looks a lot like you.
Is that a good thing or bad thing? I don't know.
Well, I mean, your camera's froze, so.
He took offense to that.
Oh, and again.
But yeah, so we're going to talk about an actual, not just war, but actual situation and dilemma that is ongoing. Yeah, I'll let Jem take it away because he's the one with the knowledge here. So, go.
Alright, so obviously everyone knows that the war in Ukraine is still ongoing. The war that the Russians thought would be over in about a week and has gone on for almost 2 years now.
2 years? Bloody hell.
It started sort of near the end of 2022, didn't it, really?
Bloody hell.
So, well, a year then.
Oh, I was going to say, what the fuck?
Time flies. When you're a piece of shit.
Wasn't it near the start of 2022, actually? Or was it the start of this
year? It was 2022.
It was 2022.
I did think 2 years sounded a bit extreme, yeah.
But yeah.
Was it July?
Where was that?
I swear it was July it started.
What, this July or last July?
Last July.
Definitely went this way.
So, yeah, about a year and a quarter then. But yeah. So obviously that was going on, and the Russians are running out of ammunition. Ukrainians have been getting supplied by everyone else. And so, yeah, we're coming up to a situation where it's not sustainable for Russia to continue the war in the state that they're doing it in. So they've recently met with, well, Putin recently met with Kim Jong-un, the leader of North Korea. Now, officially, the meeting was just about, being friends and, all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But the running theory is that the Russians are basically begging the North Koreans to arm them.
What with shit out?
What could go wrong?
Sodom.
What am I?
Really shit out of date weapons.
They did hand each other over the replicas of their current off-the-line battle rifles.
Yeah, I mean, most of North Korea is suffering like either rickets or some weird diseases.
That's really.
And starvation, yeah.
Western medicine, they're a bit stuck.
Yeah, but
That's what happens when you get a dictatorship and some weird form of let's isolate ourselves from the entire rest of the world.
That's what happens when you get a dictatorship that isn't populist but also is powerful enough to keep the population down.
Basically, how China was about 300 to 400 years ago.
Not really. How China was about 50, 60 years ago.
It's all madness. I mean, isn't it because he wants to, well, it's all to do with they just want their
freedom.
Yeah, I mean, like Russia's a big ass, but it's the biggest place in the world. And
you'll find it's the largest continent in the world.
And I don't know. Greed comes into it. A lot of greed.
Can I actually tell us the actual 8 main causes of war?
8? Well, yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, there's 8 fucking 8 reasons for war causes.
Yeah, go on then.
So yeah, we're going to start off the economic gain. So yeah, Putin would love to have Ukraine, more ground, more income, I guess, more people paying taxes. Territorial gain. He probably wants to rebuild the USSR. Religion, not really. Nationalism, I suppose there's an element of nationalism. Revenge, well, fall of the USSR. Civil War, that's more of America, North and South. Revolutionary War, that's America fighting the British. But to be fair, we're probably better off without them because they're all stupid over there. And Ukraine having a defensive war, i.e. keeping the invaders out. So yeah, they are the 8 main causes of war.
What was that last one? Didn't hear that.
Defensive war.
See, I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of war. I mean, I don't agree with it. I don't. I think if you're going to war,
you don't agree with people getting killed, Dingle.
Well, that's the thing, and I think it all comes down to the size of their dicks.
Well, they're like really tiny, right?
Like, yeah, like I have a small penis and I'm angry, so I'm gonna just go to war.
Yeah.
And I think Vladimir has a really small dick, and he's got no hair, so it's not looking well.
I don't know. I can imagine him being so fucked up in the head, he might actually go and get like one cut off another Russian and then sewn onto him.
Probably. The guy's well, I'm not a fan of him. Never have been. I don't like his albums. I don't even know the guy. I mean, I've always been painting a picture of him as just a dick, even before the war. Just a dick. Oh, he's a powerful man.
KGB.
Yeah, the KGB. I know he's part of that. Yeah. So he's a skilled man. He's a very,
He's been quoted as saying that there's no such thing as an ex-KGB man. So technically speaking, he still thinks he's part of it.
I just think I don't agree with war, and I agree with John Lennon. Give peace a chance. And I mean, I don't.
Peace and love, man.
How is killing a whole nation gonna solve anything?
Best competition.
The war has to be justified. If it's some kind of Nazi-esque or Marxist kind of like war where they go over, you must conform to our values or you'll die. If it's to a sense of, if I don't believe what you're doing is right, i.e. right and just, and allow fair treatment of all people, they should fight against it.
See, and that's another thing.
Take a country from them. They don't want that. I mean, there's an element of nationalism in that. The Ukrainian people are proud of their nation. All the men stayed. All the women left. Not like these pussies in the Middle East.
It's government in it. I mean, the Russian people don't want to go to war. The Ukrainians don't want to go to war. It comes down to the men in suits again. And it's power in it. I don't believe anybody wants to go to war, but you got these dickheads in suits saying we're going to go to war, and no, you go to war. We'll stay at home, thank you very much. I tell you, if the Prime Minister came to my door, you're going to war, I'd say no, I'm not, mate. I'm about to play Mortal Kombat. You go to war. This is your problem. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean?
I suppose if they pay enough.
Why don't presidents fight the war? Why do they always send the poor?
Why don't presidents fight the war? Why don't presidents fight the war? Why do they always send the poor? Why do they always send the poor? Why is that about?
Yeah, we didn't need to do the entire bit. We just needed to quote the song.
But yeah, it's presidents, isn't it? We're going to go to war, and you got the people in the background. Oh, we don't want to go to war though. But you're going to war because I'm in a suit and I have more power than you. Why do the people just turn around and go, no, fuck off?
Depends what the situation is with the war.
Yeah, but I know that from what I've heard is that the Russian people are not actually wanting this war.
Yeah, they've been well, we don't know for certain, but we know that a lot of cases of either desertion or people trying to avoid being drafted into the Russian military are happening.
It's madness.
Yeah.
I mean, we all share this beautiful planet together, and on this planet we have nuclear weapons, we have guns, we have bombs. We're meant to share this Earth together, but no, we're always at lock. What are we gonna do if an alien?
People do.
What would happen if an alien invasion happened? We'd be screwed because we can't even get along with each other.
To be fair, that would be a case we may unite to fight a common enemy.
Yeah, well
independent.
If the aliens came along and attacked all of us at once, we would all band together and fight them. If they all turned up and just absolutely curb stomped Russia and North Korea, I don't think the rest of the world would bat an eye.
No, not at all. And that's the thing is, we can't even get along with each other, and we're all share this.
Because America may say, "Tell you what, give us some of your secrets, give us some of your technology, give us some of your scientists, and we'll help you fight the war." That's the way the Americans would think. They'll think it like a business, because that's kind of how America works. It's think. What was the first line of Jarhead? Oh, let's protect our oil.
I've never seen Jarhead, actually. No, who's the main guy in that?
It's that actor I really like. He's in Brokeback Mountain. Wait, what?
Yeah.
I really like him.
Is it?
Gyllenhaal, sorry.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah, I like him. I think he's great.
He's pretty good.
He hasn't even won a Grammy, has he?
No, he's so underrated. He did it. He was in that video I sent a video to us lot. It was like when you listen to the ThaStr8UpBustas and it's him dancing.
I think most people support now for economic growth. I mean,
back to the war. I think it's a joke. I don't think we should. There's things to be sorted. Why do we? I feel like if you have to kill someone, it just goes to show you have a small dick. And I believe Vladimir has a really tiny dick.
No.
And
the thing is, once someone has decided they're going to attack or invade you, you have to stick up for yourself. So it's well and good saying that, but if you're on the receiving end, you can't just be pacifist.
But you got all these.
If you attack the whole nation of Buddhas, they're fucked.
That's the thing. You got all these young kids that are like 18 that are going to. They don't want to go to war. They want to, have a family, grow old, but no, being forced into war because of some prick in a suit is upset.
I'm going to throw something in there. It did suspiciously start just after America pulled out of Afghan.
It wasn't actually that quick after. It was because America pulled out of Afghan 2021, didn't they?
I don't think that has anything like.
Well,
that's not really.
That's relevant, I think.
It's war, but
yeah.
I'm now going to look it up.
If all wars connected, they could have a war between Sweden and Finland. I don't think that's going to be.
See, I'm very against war. I mean, the only war I like is God of War, but or Gears of War. But that's gaming. That's it's not real, and I don't think killing whole nation is going to solve anything to the point you have a small dick. I'm sorry, I just don't believe in war. I generally don't think how is killing someone. I just think
if you were in World War One or Two, we would have to. We're all able.
Oh yeah, we would have to. But I don't believe. I think it's disgusting, and I think we're meant to share this earth together.
Oh, August 31st. 21.
But the thing is that the human race will slowly be wiped out by itself. We will kill ourselves off. I just think it's all a joke. I think, share this world together. We should all stand by each other, help each other, not kill each other. I don't think that's the answer for anything, unless you're a paedophile or a murderer. And I think it's disgusting. I hate it. I hate the fact that we go to war over stupid reasons.
Yeah.
And I'm getting this image that Vladimir's going to war because he's embarrassed at the size of his knob.
Mm.
I don't agree with that. I think it's disgusting.
Not letting that go. What about if a female leader goes to war? They've got like a blue waffle or something.
What?
You tend to see that a lot of
You
women-
said they're worried that they got a small cock. I'm saying.
It's always
What
the
about
men.
what about when? Yeah, but queens have waged war before, so I'm saying, does that because they got a wizard sleeve or something?
no, it's because women in
Small
politics generally tend to have small breasts.
Yeah, small tits. Small feet get closer to the sink.
Pancake president.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, my thoughts on war is I don't agree with that. I think it's disgusting, and I think, because you're in a suit and that gives you the right, because people put you in power is for you there to look after them. This is why we have politicians and that, to look after us, not kill us. Not
29th of February 2020.
what the 2020? What?
United States were forced to complete their withdrawal from Afghanistan on 30th of August 2021, marking the end of the 2001 to 2021 war.
Yeah. They did the same in Iraq as well.
It was going on for 20 years. That's mental.
And also, the war in Ukraine didn't start until February 2022.
Great
So
run.
yeah, it has actually almost been 2 years.
Sheesh.
What was it? Is it because he wants to take over? Because I don't know the ins and outs, but I've only seen things I've seen on TikTok. And
So
He's
yeah.
pissed off NATO and he wants to revive the USSR.
alright, the official statement is NATO have been slowly creeping further and further east through Europe, and Russia specifically said that if NATO tried to get Ukraine involved in NATO, that they would go to war. And NATO tried to get Ukraine involved in NATO, and so the Russians invaded. Unofficially, there are a number of different theories that people have put out. One of which being that Ukraine is one of the most fertile countries in the world, and if you want to stop a food shortage, then Ukraine is probably the best place to control, because then you can get all your grain and everything. So the theory is that Russia wants to control Europe through the food, because Ukraine is where we get a lot of our grain from.
Oh, okay. Ukraine.
Paying farmers not to plant fields.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's just the EU.
Why not just fucking grow it here?
Might be something to do with the soil.
Because we're no longer part of the EU, we don't have that subsidy anymore.
Mm.
But also, the reason that the reason the EU was doing that was because they were throwing away a lot more rotten grain than they were using.
I just want to throw something out there. Next election, Labour's going to get in. We're going to rejoin the EU. We're going to form a European army. And then the Russians are going to get pissed off because it'd be a massive NATO control. And then we'll go to a total nuclear annihilation. That's my prediction for the next 10 years.
For the next 10 years.
Hopefully GTA 6 is out by then.
And Elder Scrolls 6.
No, the war will start on the release date of GTA 6.
Oh, great.
Or a teaser trailer.
And it won't be conscript, so everyone will get conscripted. If you're fighting age, you get conscripted into the army. That's what I reckon.
Yeah, it's Fallout 5 ready to happen, isn't it?
Why not, isn't it?
Shoot
Yeah,
me
it
now.
is. It is.
To be fair, Bethesda could, well, not going too far off topic, but going into total war, because it is war. nuclear, they could base Fallout 5 in an entirely different universe where we went further past the 50s and it went into modern day this universe ish, where there is a European state and it is a war with Russia, BRICS rather than China.
You really want an American company to try and make a game about nuclear destroyed Europe?
I'd play it.
Yeah, I'll play it. Yeah.
There used to be
you get you get 2 continents to play in. Can you imagine how fucking massive the game would be?
Yeah, I don't think there's a computer available that has enough space for that.
Yeah, Starfield.
To be fair, you can buy a 6 terabyte hard drive for about
Right,
160 quid.
But what?
Brand new. Second hand, it's about 60.
Okay, but unless you're going to go back down to bloody Daggerfall levels of graphics, it doesn't matter how big it is. It's still got draw distance and cell loading to deal with. How big are these cells going to be?
Cards are. I mean, those new graphics cards kick ass.
Yeah, but what about us regular people who can't afford to buy the latest graphics card every fucking 10 seconds?
Yeah.
Well, when Fallout 4 came out, my PC was shit. A few years later, the prices went down, and I bought the new stuff.
Yeah, but here's the thing. People are going to want to play the game when it first comes out. If they can't run the game,
yeah,
they're not going to want to play it.
If you're a hardcore gamer, you must have the money.
You're not even a hardcore gamer.
I'm not.
Yeah, you ain't got time to be a hardcore gamer.
I mean, what do you I got my PS3 literally 5 to 8 years after it was released. Just so I wouldn't have to pay the premium for it.
Intriguing. Let's get back to WAR, because we're on games now.
War is raw. But
I can go on about Russians, fuck's sake, come on.
Russians, fuck's sake.
Russian for.
Russian fire hose of falsehood propaganda model. So basically out of this, so since 2008, an incursion into Georgia, if not before, there has been a remarkable evolution of Russia's approach to propaganda. This new approach was in full display during the country's 2014 annexation of the Crimean Peninsula. It continues to demonstrate in support of ongoing conflicts in Ukraine, Syria, and in pursuit of nefarious and long-term goals in Russia's near abroad and against NATO allies. In some ways, the current Russian approach to propaganda builds on the Soviet Cold War era techniques, with emphasis of obfuscation and on getting targets to act in the interest of the propagandist without realizing what they have done. So, in other ways, it is completely new and driven by characteristics of the contemporary information environment. Russia has taken advantage of technology available in the media in all ways that would have been inconceivable during the Cold War. Its tools and channels now include internet, social media, and the evolving landscape of professional, amateur journalism, and media outlets.
Is there a layman's terms to your point? Because you lost me, man.
Yeah, you lost us all around about the point where you started talking about Facebook.
You lost me when you started breathing.
So, yeah, we characteristic the contemporary Russian model of propaganda as the fire hose of falsehood.
No, don't repeat what you. We need it like more basic because we don't really understand.
Say it in terms that R-Techz will understand.
Hey.
Okay.
So basically,
distinctive features of the contemporary model for Russian propaganda.
It's just going to repeat the same thing over and over again.
Rapid, continuous, and repetitive.
Let's talk about those Russian guns, yeah?
Yeah.
Lacks commitment commitment to consistency. So if you heard those whilst you were talking over me, those
Hypocrite.
are pieces of their propaganda, which is what you use in war. Where's it gone?
Out
I
the
feel
window.
like I'm in a school lesson. Like,
Well,
someone's...
that's what it is. I mean, if you're going to talk about war, you might as well talk about how it starts, what they do within war, and then how war is resolved. Usually in the total annihilation or destruction of, well, the enemy political power.
Usually more it's a economic factor or a situation where, you know, the opposition or you cannot carry on producing as much stuff as you were able to before. So in the events of the Cold War, the West won purely out of the fact that they were able to continue to produce stuff without having to, you know, die of starvation.
When we defeated the Nazis by, well, we literally just rolled over Germany and killed them all. Well, those who didn't surrender, and the fact that Hitler either shot himself or was shot.
Or
Most
easy,
people
did.
shot by one of his fucking followers. I wouldn't be surprised.
His body was never found. Well, never officially found. The
That's right, yeah.
Russians claim to have him.
I'll tell you what happened. He noshed off an American soldier so good, he decided to take him home with him.
Are you on drugs, SD?
Are you on that gay porn site again?
What?
Imagine Nazi porn.
Look.
Fucking hell.
This probably is a thing, you know. That probably is a thing.
Well, no.
There used to be, I think it was the either Argentinian or Brazilian chief of police used to be called Hitler Mussolini.
Literally, I tried to be serious about it. No one was listening, so I made a joke out of it, and everyone listened. So everyone got a laugh in the end. I did try.
That's the spirit.
Yeah, but as I was saying,
Gem Grown.
he has to go at everyone for talking over him, and then he talks over everyone else.
No, yeah, what the heck?
Yeah, it's not very nice until he does it back to you.
Well, you did it all the time before anyway, you twat. Anyway.
I missed this Dingle.
Jerry.
No,
Anyway.
not Jerry. It's
Carry on.
Oh, I forgot his fucking name now.
Ralph Harris.
Jeremy.
There we go. I've muted him.
Jeremy.
Not on the...
You mean,
Kyle.
yeah, what's his damn name?
Kyle.
Oh, fuck.
Jeremy
Jeremy.
Kyle. There we go.
Yeah. Wait, how did we get there? What do you mean? What?
Oh, 'cause
Why
we shout
are we
Jeremy
talking about Jeremy Kyle when we're supposed to be talking about war?
I mean, what they should do is bring back Jeremy Kyle, but have Putin and President.
Yeah, I'm sure they're gonna
Biden.
easily get Putin all the way over here for that.
Oh, that'd be hilarious. Jeremy got a fucking President Putin and fucking like Biden talking face to face. That's gonna be a fucking.
I'm
joke.
surprised
But
Jimmy said...
they've been in the same room before.
Okay.
They've
shook hands with him, was very friendly, and made it look like he was actually getting on. Biden's like,
Biden's too busy feeding his kids brush against his hairs.
Yeah,
yeah, it's too busy smelling Russian children.
that took a turn.
and trying to get his kid off of charges
Crack.
for
Cocaine and heroin.
buying a gun under the influence of drugs.
That's it.
And how much coke was found in the warehouse?
Not enough.
Hunter Biden, excuse me.
No Pepsi. Oh, it's annoying.
No, Pepsi, no.
No
Not
RC
even a
Cola
shot.
either.
No, or Nuka-Cola.
Or Panda Pops.
Don't ruin it.
Those were the
Hand
days.
pop. But no, war's disgusting. I hate it.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're all in agreement that we hate war
Yeah.
if we lose.
Apart from God of War, and Warhammer.
Aye.
And Gears of War.
I
Here's
think
a-
people have a better understanding of Warhammer than they do actual real war. Just gonna throw that out there.
Well, probably. I know a lot more
I-
about Star Wars and all.
I know a lot of people who do not understand Warhammer.
Tiny
You know
bits,
what I
but that's
mean?
only
It's
through
like-
Gem.
Out of like the
I meant
amount
like actually playing the game.
Fuck.
of...
Yeah, no, I figured that.
Fucking hell.
Been there, done that. Got a T-shirt.
You didn't actually play the game though.
Nah,
I've
what
got a
was
T-shirt.
enough?
It's a lot more fun when you're actually doing it than when you're watching it. I will say that.
I suppose you got to be like, because we're just newbies, aren't we?
Yeah.
So I think if we had gave it more time, we might have, because I quite liked building them.
Yeah.
I suppose it's better killing plastic figurines than actual real people.
I mean, I wouldn't be able to answer that because I've never killed a real person.
You sure?
Speak for yourself.
And if he did, he wouldn't admit it live on podcast, would you, Jem?
Oh, exactly.
I'm pretty sure at one point in our life we have caused indirectly, no fault of our own, the death of another person.
Yeah, butterfly effect. I sneezed
I got on
and
the
a
bus
woman.
before somebody, so they couldn't get on it.
You mean like a butterfly
And for
effect?
whatever reason, they were run over.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, that's not.
Like,
Cool.
I woke up, coughed, and a woman got hit by a car because I coughed at the wrong time.
I would have said actually doing something, but I'm sure the coughing. I mean, you may have
Yeah.
distracted the mailman.
Like if I pushed in front of someone in a queue and then I got served before them, I walked out and I was fine crossing the road, and then they walked out and they got hit by a bus. That should have been me, and that type of thing.
Mm. But anyway, back onto the war.
Yeah. I've actually got more. Which is more
Oh.
stuff I've actually
He's
Yeah.
got some more about war.
More and war, more war. That's what we want. More war.
Bring it to the floor.
Towards Ukraine, Ukraine has claimed fresh success in its counter-offensive against Vladimir Putin's forces, with the recapture of another village, a liberation that the army says is key success in all further directions. This is from The Independent.
Not the Guardian.
The announcement by the General Staff of Ukraine's armed forces said that Russian forces face significant losses in battle. The village of, and I'm not even going to pronounce that, but it starts with an A, is about 10 kilometers south of Donetsk town of Bama, whatever the fuck it is, which is captured in May after some bloodiest fighting of the war. So yeah, it looks like Ukraine is having quite a lot of success.
Yeah, are Ukraine winning the war? Do we know? Like,
Officially, there is no current winner or loser. However, what we do know is that the Russians are struggling and the Ukrainians are gaining ground. So, if you go by that information, that means that Ukrainians are winning.
yeah, I mean, the world have turned against Russia, isn't they?
Yeah,
And that's their own fault. That's their own fault. That's their own fault. You know, greed.
Have they got a cons? Not a cons list. What's it called again? Conscript. Is it mandatory for them? Is it compulsory for
Yeah.
Russian populace to
If
participate?
you're of fighting age, you have to go.
yeah.
Shit. Fair enough.
Jesus.
So
Wow.
that's what 16 to 40 odd, isn't it?
Damn.
Jesus.
Imagine if you're literally just turned that age, like your 16th birthday. Sorry, son.
Yeah.
Off your pot.
You
Yeah.
still need to be fit enough to actually join. If you
That would be right,
if
yeah.
you either have a
All right, Jem. Let's not get pedantic about it. You know what I meant.
yeah, I know what you mean.
We'll be
Or,
alright.
or just like it's like your 40th birthday or something. They're like, no, here we go. You're like, oh fuck's sake, one more year.
You would have been grabbed before your birthday.
Yeah, it's mental.
Oh shit! I've just read something else as well. You might find this quite funny because it has colour in it. Black propaganda.
Oh, I think you meant the.
This may be limited to anonymous dissemination of internally consistent talking points, differing from white propaganda, only its lack of credited authorship. Fuck's sake. Thing is, with the Russian propaganda machine, or the Russian fire hose of falsehood, they're actually using radio stations and TV stations trying to get the Ukrainian people to like
Revolt.
Oh, what is it? It was from a story I heard about Ukrainian men dressing up as women to get across the border.
Oh, I remember you. I think you touched on that the last time we spoke about this.
Yeah, because what the Russians are saying is that what's the fucking story called? Because I'd like to play it.
That was actually a thing. Well, they were like cross-dressing in order just to get out from fighting.
So the Russians are claiming that was Ukrainians, but a lot of evidence is pointing to that being the Russians were actually doing that. There are a lot of Russian men trying to get out of Russia to get out of fighting.
We just said that we want to get going. You said. Sorry, go on, Jim.
Yeah. What SD was saying was that the Russians are saying that there are a lot of Ukrainian men who are cross-dressing trying to get out of Ukraine to stop fighting in the war. The actual evidence that we have seen has shown that it's actually Russian men that are doing that to get out of the war.
But there you go. That's like I said earlier. Like the Russian people didn't really. Majority of them didn't want to go to war.
Yeah.
Okay,
so don't know any different.
So funnily enough, I found something. So Ukrainian officials. See how to credit. Claimed to have a man dressed as in woman's clothes fleeing war amid the war between Russia and Ukraine. Ukrainian border guards at the Moldova crossing found a man in woman's clothing trying to flee the country. As the Russian military offensive in Ukraine continues, the Ukrainian border guards at that's just repeating what I said. The State Border Guard Service of Ukraine found a tall person with a deep voice in a woman's outfit as they stopped a taxi near Odessa. Yeah. The development comes as the Russian military offensive in Ukraine transcended 50 days. Transcended.
That was quite early on. That was like a month and a half in.
It's quite sad to see in it though. People having to do that to escape because they don't want to go to war, and people having to do that. It sucks. It sucks, dick.
Don't say that too loud.
Having to do that to escape, your own country just to not go into war. That's scary. It's just,
any trans of what type is a popular thing down there. So yeah, they must literally force themselves to do that to get out.
It's scary. It
is scary, yeah, of course. Yeah, because even it could be the most just cause ever. That's good. Okay. But I would never want to intentionally kill anyone.
Was that there? Same
even if that person wants to kill me, I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not sure if I would ever bring. I'm not sure if I ever could do it. I think it might have been different. I can't speak for Dingle or Gem. I presume.
I couldn't do it again.
What, dude? What did I say earlier? I'm not sure about SD. We won't go into why. You're what? Sorry, considering it.
In bylaw, you have the right to self-defense.
Mm.
So if somebody was adamant they're gonna fucking kill me, I had no other routes out of this conflict. I was locked in a room with them, and I was told at the door either you're gonna leave or he is, and the loser dies. I think I would choose. I'm gonna survive this.
That sounds like some jigsaw thing there. Want to play a game?
If I had
more him situation.
But that's a bit different. I think. But now you're getting a bit too specific here. I didn't on one battle. I'm talking about in a battlefield, right?
Yeah.
Even if like bullets are coming my way, grenades.
No, I know
tank,
what you mean.
you know what I mean? In that situation, even if I was right behind an enemy, I probably would just freeze. I probably would just freeze on the spot and be shaking like hell.
Yeah.
Because like knowing that you're gonna kill someone who probably has a family, like I don't know, it's
like if
no,
that was
yeah,
me.
but what I'm saying is I haven't had that training. If I was someone who wanted to be in the military from a young age, I probably would think differently and all the discipline and all the things you're told.
Yeah.
But to actually be in that position, I'm not saying I wouldn't. I would have to, wouldn't I? But it would be very hard for me to grasp that concept because we're so far away from any war, really. Like we're so out of touch with anything to do with that. In my lifetime, the most closest thing I've come to a war is, just a school fight, like on or shooting zombies. So and zombies are people, so zombies life matter. I'm saying
that's it.
It's one of those things you won't ever know how you will respond to that situation until you're in it.
Unless it happens, yeah, of course.
Like, unfortunately for a lot of people, a lot of people discount themselves, arguably a bit too readily, because they want to say that they're not capable of doing that, or they just would refuse to, take someone's life, even if it meant saving their own. But until they're in that situation, they don't actually know.
Yeah, that's true.
Can I say something as well?
No, you can't. Carry on, Jem.
Most people are rather selfish, so they'll say one thing but do another.
Exactly.
So
but there's a difference between.
Say, I don't think I can take someone's life.
No.
But
there's a difference. There's a difference between being
I don't want to fucking die here.
But SD, there's a difference between being selfish, right? And so, if you dropped to 20 quid, right, and I saw you drop that 20 quid, I know this is a bit different, but, and I picked up that 20 quid and I was like, bye. That's being selfish, right? Because I'm doing something that doesn't really put me in harm's way. But I think I think especially in the
a bit more than that.
Right. Well,
anyway. 20 quid doesn't try and kill you.
No, I'm not. No, that's the point I'm making.
That's the point he's making. What he's trying to say is that selfish isn't you. Selfishness is completely different to, self-sacrifice / self-defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you're running away from a deranged killer, somebody who's selfish would trip his mate up to get out.
Right, but now you're thinking of a different. Now you're thinking of a different example.
That's a completely different situation. We're talking about war.
Money's slightly different. You can lose money but still survive.
Yes, but the point I'm making is being selfish. It's not selfish if your situation of being locked in with another dude.
It's doing something.
And whoever wins, whoever dies, if someone dies, someone leaves. That's not selfishness, is it? Because either you both die, either you both starve to death, or maybe they've got some lasers in there that they just straight up kill you with if you don't fight, or one of you dies. No, it's not. Yeah, that's not war either. Yeah. We kind of transpired up, but you know what I mean. Yeah, it's not selfishness.
Yeah.
Party conflict. I think.
Anyway. But yeah, so the Russians are running out of ammo for everything. Ukrainians have lots of ammo, but they also have lots of different things from all over the world. So they have a absolute nightmare for logistics because they've got to get the right stuff to the right people, and they got to make sure that
the Ukraine's going to be paying off their debt for fucking years.
Oh, yeah.
Go on, Jim, carry on.
You're shot. Dodged a bullet there, mate.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Germany's profiting from this as well.
Germany?
Of course, everyone's profiting of it. Everyone's been selling Ukraine weapons, and Ukraine haven't actually paid anyone back yet.
To be fair, the UK is actually giving them all that out of date stuff, or stuff that's going out of date.
Stuff we don't need. You
Yeah.
can't.
It's also a case of we're also probably sending them our training ammunition for the firearms that we don't actually use. Uh-oh. R-Techz has disappeared.
Mm.
No, he's still here. I can't hear him though.
Fuck. Can you...
Oh.
Oh.
It's me doing.
What's happened?
Why are you struggling with internet?
I'm confused. I can only hear Dingle right now. Hold on.
I'm not even talking. I am now.
Hold on. There we go. The output was on my microphone. Okay, carry on. Yeah, I don't know why. Sorry, guys. I missed what you said in the past minute. My apologies.
Alright, past minute we were talking about
Giving Ukraine weapons that we don't need.
Yeah, we were giving Ukraine weapons we don't need. And I was specifically saying that we were sending them ammunition for training weapons we don't actually use. Things like
Okay.
Because
So we're sending them the bad stuff then, the less.
well,
They're being sent endless.
isn't necessarily bad stuff, but stuff that we don't
Upgraded.
use.
Yeah, not upgraded stuff.
Yeah, it's also like. Correct me if I'm wrong, anyone who understands this, but if I remember correctly, our infantry are taught at least some level of familiarity with a lot of the different weapons that are used by different nations. Like some level of familiarity, anyway. And then obviously they need ammunition to train with for those weapons. But because we don't use those weapons, we don't need a massive stockpile of it, so we can just sell that stuff off. So like the 545 bullets for that the AK-74 and that sort of family uses, the 7.62 by whatever it is, I think 39 for the AKMs.
Amen.
Because we don't use those rounds, we can just ship those off willy-nilly, really.
Mm. You got to take it on board. You know what I mean? James said what? The mic picked up.
The mic did not pick that up.
Indirectly.
What was that?
It looks like you're shooting OnlyFans.
Maybe we are. That's the premium podcast. You got to pay for that, guys. Patreon, link in the description.
Mm-hmm. Give a comment. But yeah, war.
Yeah, war.
The thing is, I would like to try and link everything we've said in this video, well, podcast, let's say, the original 8 causes of war.
Sure thing. Yeah, I won't.
You did go over them quite.
But I want to go through. what I said. So, economic gain, like yourself, gem. That'll be the grain, the very fertile ground.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. The territorial gain, that'd be towards rebuilding of the old USSR, and also it'd be like a boast or like a gain in the sense, or at least a threat to the sense of the West, or the NATO, for instance, that you're not going to do this, even though you said you're not going to do this because you said you weren't going to do it, and now we're telling you you should not do it. Religion, I don't think there's really a religion involved in this Ukrainian war.
No, I don't think religion has anything to do with it.
No, there is. There is. There is a little bit. There's a few elements.
There's the Russian Orthodoxy Christian stuff. So the Russian Orthodoxy stuff. There might be a little bit of a case of,
Exactly what I was thinking, Jem. That's weird knowledge that I knew that, but yeah. So there's a tiny teeny weeny bit.
I don't know how it would be linked into it, but whether it is.
Well, I don't think they have LinkedIn. A bit weird.
Didn't know they're on LinkedIn.
Hey. We're not on LinkedIn. We need to have a LinkedIn.
Just going to
Man
carry
king.
on with them. Nationalism. USSR again. Ukrainians have their very proud nationalism, say, against Russia because they don't want to be taken over. So there'll be a lot of nationalism in that. In the sense of good nationalism, where if there's an invading country, you have the right to be proud of your nation. But if you're white and you're in England, you're not allowed to.
Where did that come from? We're not talking about racism.
Yeah. Why do you have to always bring up race?
The thing is, if I don't say that, no one's going to pay attention. They don't find it funny. Go on to revenge. Again, NATO supposedly saying, "Oh, we're not going further than West Germany," back in the day, and then the Russians going, "Okay, you're not going to go that far," and then proceeding to carry on going over the European countries. Civil war in the sense that the Russian propaganda are trying to get the Ukrainian people, or at least trying to convince them to either stop fighting or telling their own political parties to, stop this war, give up, surrender to them because death. I wouldn't really call it a revolutionary war, simply because they're not really being, I guess in a sense it'd be a revolutionary war because they would liberate themselves from Russia if Russia ever took them over. So that doesn't really work. A defensive war, yes, completely, totally, because Russia's invading.
Alright, so we've just gone over that bit again.
I'm going to say, I was going to say something, but I thought I'd leave you to it, but we have kind of sort of rehashed that twice.
Yeah.
You just said it in more detail this time. You just kind of...
Only one thing changed.
The time.
Okay, well, defensive war would be...
No, we got it.
We don't need to go and do it again, please.
Not third time, mate. We got you.
I'm trying to tie it in, otherwise...
No. There's no...
talk about war
rope snapped.
I don't know, an hour, and not really get anywhere, or not actually having some kind of substance where these are the 8 main causes, and here's how everything we've talked about correlates to what these 8 main causes are.
Okay, so what part of the 8 main causes was the propaganda? He didn't have an answer for that, did he?
Got him.
That would be...
You motherfucker. Yeah.
Civil war. Fuck you.
Captain America and Iron Man. Civil war, yeah, that's mainly down to your own shit, innit? Like your country going to war with itself. How sad is that though? We're going to war. Who with? Ourselves.
Yeah, but if it's
it's more country. We're going to war. Who with? The government.
Yeah,
versus
they do like reenactments and shit, don't they? It's especially in America. That's why they do it. It's very
in America. There's like 50 states in America.
52 or is it 54?
I thought it was 50.
I thought it was bang on 50. Yeah.
Because there are 50 stars on the flag.
Hey, Dingle, oh man.
How many states in America? Oh, it is exactly 50. I was wrong.
Hey, see? Have some of that.
Hey, I'm allowed to say that I was wrong, okay?
But not just a pretty face.
Yeah, well, me.
Not even a pretty face.
Because you got a haircut and that. But, yeah.
You need one. A beard trim.
Civil War, I think Civil War is just fucking, it's so ridiculous. It's the reenactments of it as well is so, how would I say it without sounding homophobic? Gay. Very gay.
James, what's up?
There's a lot of stuff that's going on in America at the moment, which is making a lot of more people prepared for a second civil war.
Can't even get along with
To shout
themselves.
out on the Russian propaganda, it comes under nationalism because it's political warfare.
Always got answer.
Because the closest states towards Russia still have USSR relations with Russia. So some people sympathise with Russia and some people don't. And that's how the Russian propaganda works. Kind of. Ish.
Back in the USSR.
So yeah, nationalism.
Nice. Born in the USSR. Oh, it doesn't work.
It's a Beatles song.
Starving in
No, I know. Yeah, I was
USSR.
thinking of the Bruce Springsteen.
Going up in space and then come back after it collapses.
It's funny 'cause that they always play that as like a really patriotic song, but it's really not.
They
Yeah,
are so
it's,
up themselves, aren't they? The States. They got to have their flags on their front lawn, and
Yeah, they think they're the best country in the world.
it's weird. Yeah, bit weird.
Have you heard about the kid that got in trouble for wearing the Gadsden flag to school?
No. Oh my god, really?
It's to do with the Revolutionary War.
It's so the Gadsden flag is a snake that says "Don't step on me."
Don't tread on me, yeah.
Isn't it on? Didn't he have it like a badge on his rucksack?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
Yeah, I heard about
and then he got in trouble, so he bought a full size one and started wearing it as a cape.
that. I love it. I love it. I love it.
It's just see. That's what annoys me about the States. They're so up themselves. What they need to understand is if they come out of America, right? There's other countries, not just America.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They think that this world is just America. That's
They certainly
The
act
greatest-
like it. Yeah, they get that vibe. They think London's the only city in England.
yeah, and they think the UK is just like farms and all that as well.
Farms,
Like,
farms
it's
farms
like
and
Emmerdale.
dilapidated castles.
Yeah,
And we're all posh.
and like
Yeah.
Emmerdale sort of style.
An
And
old
we're all
car.
posh.
Not gonna lie, we literally all just shouted stuff then. I don't think anything.
Blah, 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 blah.
The Mary Poppins accent gets me. Well, they speak, hello, Governor. That's how we speak. Hello, Governor.
Yes, that's good. I don't think you are gay, SD, somehow. But yeah, unless there's anything you guys want to add on, I think it's around an hour now, isn't it, Mr. Gem?
We are
Yeah,
2 minutes and 15 seconds short of an hour.
Ooh.
Alright.
That'd be enough to get an outro, wouldn't it? Or at least a goodbye.
We got intro and outro.
We do now, courtesy of Mr. Dingle. All right, let's go verdicts. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Gem first.
Gem first. Okay. Well,
Psych. No, I am. Yeah, go on, Gem.
the Russians have been absolutely duped by Putin into taking part in a war that they weren't prepared for or capable of actually, winning. And the Ukrainians are our friends. So yeah, let's keep
That's it.
giving them the guns and the ammunition and all that shit.
Stand your ground.
Who's next, R-Techz?
R-Sex, what?
Shall I make the executive decision and say Dingle?
Yeah.
Go for it. Okay. I think I'm not a fan of war. I can't stand it. I think Russia got too big for their boots, and now it's coming in. It's backfired, pun intended. And you made your bed, you lie in it, and and I think everyone's going to back Ukraine because Ukraine, well, they're our allies and we love them. So leave our Ukraine alone. But no, I'm against it. I think Vladimir, sort your act out. I know you won't see this, you bold bitch, but I don't agree with war. I always say give peace a chance and love one another. That's all I can say about that.
Amen.
Who's next then?
You.
Yeah.
Cool. Going over it and thinking about it, the way Putin's handled things, i.e. the war in Ukraine. I don't quite understand why he said, "Oh, I'll be over in a few days," like a week, and then we're still here over a year later, almost 2 years later.
Year and a half,
The war's
definitely.
still going on. Okay, year and a half, whatever. Which makes me think, well, did he underestimate Ukraine, or did he deliberately do it? I like give so much to to Ukraine, and kept most of his forces back. Because the Russian army has over 1 million people. I mean, it's comparable to the American military. Obviously, their kit isn't as good because they don't buy Western, or if they do, it's only for their special forces, and no one really hears about it or knows about it unless the CIA knows.
And then everything.
Probably most intelligent agency across the world probably know they do buy Western gear now and again. But anyway, would this be more of a political move saying, "Oh, we can do this with only 10% of our military overtaking Ukraine," or is it just the fact that they want to look shit, pull out of Ukraine, and when there's retaliation, they're just gonna fucking decimate them, if you know what I mean? More of like a deception tactic. But anyway. A divulge. The whole idea of war would only make sense if it was against a political party or say a country who has radicalist ideologies that basically are harmful towards the civilized growth of the planet. I take into The Handmaid's Tale, Gilead, or Gilead, whatever it's fucking called, where it's an ideological way of life, where women belong in the kitchen and men are the power and overtake other states and shit like that. And women are just for breeding and cooking, whatever. That kind of ideology.
Cool.
Or little boys are for fun in Eastern countries.
And churches.
All right. Okay. Well, if we're
get me to move on.
yeah. It's meant to be a verdict. We feel like we're still.
It has to be justified. If it's not justified, you shouldn't do it. I mean, chasing after old half-arsed dreams such as USSR, there's no fucking point. America justified it with the oil. Again, bad, but it got economic growth out of it. And Putin's just, he's a jackass for doing this in the first place. Unless there was actually a reason for it, which I don't really see. But on the whole topic of war,
fuck it.
What's the fucking point? Really, what is the point? For Christ's sake, throw money at something and get some fucking mercenaries to do it and get people who fight for a living to die rather than your own people.
Yep. All right. Okay. We all good to move on?
No.
That might be your longest verdict left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You literally took 3 minutes.
You need to get that SpongeBob thing like 13 hours later.
Get fucked.
Hey, Reg.
All
right. My verdict. We need to really move on, dude.
We need to get to the end of the day. I almost fell asleep while you were talking, SD.
That's just usually. So I think my view, like Dingle, believe it or not, war is bad. So yeah, unless it's justifiable in any sense, then it shouldn't happen. The thing of the Ukraine and Russia, I've known bits here and there and pieces, but I've never really known the full extent of it. I think there's more to it than just Russian bad, Ukraine good. Like there is with many things, there's always layers. There is to everything, not just like something as massive scale as this. There's always going to be stuff we don't know, but yeah, I don't think anyone should agree with war as a whole. That's very strange mentality to me. But yeah, I haven't got much to say specifically now. That's me. We're going to go over to James. Anything you want to say about it? Let me turn up my gain, so it should better detect you now.
All upstairs will never change it.
All right, that was great.
Always changes.
So now we end the episode
War has
27.
changed.
My name is R-Techz, Dingle, Gem, and we got the lovely SD. Follow us Twitter, follow us on Reddit, follow us on TikTok. We got all the links down below, and this will go on the YouTube, which you should be watching this on actually, and if you're watching it live. That is it. The subject's on war, and we'll see you guys in the next.
We missed a lot.